Keep it simple. It's something I've used and employed ever since I heard it for the first time on MasterChef Australia by Marco Pierre White. When it comes to my wardrobe, no, I don't always wear black t-shirts. I like a button shirt, but it's all relatively simple, yet still fashionable, but simple. Everything goes together. When it comes to my own setup, everything is quite minimalistic, basic, and simple. When it comes to my thoughts, I try to keep it simple, although I might have a tendency, like everyone, to overthink. My thoughts can run away with me. But then I try my best to ground myself and just come back. Because there is so much calm in simplicity. Because when the world is screaming at you and telling you what you should be, who you should be, you need to buy this. You need to go here on a holiday. You need to buy this new product. You need to buy this new phone. You need to buy these new clothes. That can easily freak you out a bit. Keeping that in mind, how I've calmed myself down is by living a life of just keeping things simple. When the world is screaming at me that I need to make my life complicated, I remember myself that I try to live a life of simplicity, because it makes the world a calmer place. And when the world is a calmer place for me, it makes it a better place. It gives me a place where I can think, I can experience life, I can experience the world. I'm sure there are many of you who's watching right now who struggle with anxiety and high stress on a daily basis. Don't worry, you're not alone. Marco says, keep it simple. Don't overwork it. Don't be over ambitious. Be honest and true with yourself. Know where your limits are. Of course, push them, but not too far. Otherwise it might flop and you would have missed the opportunity to indeed create something incredible. But you were too greedy. First things first, Marco isn't about complicating life. He's not asking you to turn your kitchen into a mad scientist's lab or your business plan into a Shakespearean play. He's got one slogan for you, and that is to keep it simple. Now, don't go thinking that Marco's advocating for a lazy Sunday stroll in the park. He's all about pushing your limits. He says know your limits. Don't be that person who thinks he can bench press a double-decker bus on day one at the gym. Just honest self-assessment. Be true to yourself. Then comes the nugget of wisdom that hits you like a burst of flavor in a perfectly seasoned dish. Marco says everything you do should be an extension of you, your work, your art, your spaghetti. It's all a reflection of you. If your lasagna is a bit messy, well, maybe you're a bit messy too. Just own it. Now, Marco isn't just about being a chill and relaxed chef. Advocates don't be over ambitious. Notice the emphasis on over. He's not saying don't dream big. He's saying don't be a glutton for dreams. It is like ordering the entire menu when you're hungry. You'll end up with a table full of regrets and an empty wallet. And here is where Marco throws in a dish of reality with a sparkle of humor. Be honest with yourself. Otherwise, you're like a chef who can't tell the difference between salt and sugar. And that's just a disaster. Picture that, a dessert ruined because someone mistook sugar for salt. It is the kind of mistake that turns a sweet treat into a salty disaster. But don't be that chef in your own life. He wraps it up with a warning against greed. Marco says, sure, aim for the incredible, but don't be so greedy that you miss the opportunity. It is like going for seconds before you've even tasted the first bite. Greed can turn a masterpiece into a mess. So in the kitchen of life, savor each moment and don't rush to the next course. Don't overwork it. Crafting, creating, whatever you want to call it, it's a delicate dance. Now, I don't care if you're an artist, you're a writer, or just a person building a table. We all have this tendency to go overboard and overcomplicate things. It is like our brains have the switch stuck on more is better setting. Thing is, it's not about piling on every trick you've got up your sleeve. It is about having the stones to trust yourself. Confidence, my friend. That is the secret sauce. So let's talk about being you. Everything you create should have a bit of your soul in it. Not in a weird voodoo way, but you understand. It's like making a mixtape of your life experiences, your worldviews, and all that jazz. Just chuck it all into the blender, and what comes out should be a cocktail that's uniquely yours. Now I get it, when we're green as grass and something new, we're all like kids in a candy store. You're handed all these shiny toys, knowledge, skills, and information, and you think, oh, I have to use all of it. I have to make the most of it. It's like you've got a fancy new toolbox and you want to use every single tool that's in there, even if you're just fixing a wonky shelf. Look at the big shots, the real maestros of their craft. Picasso, Hemingway, whoever your idols are, they make it look like a walk in the park. Effortless, simple. It's like they've cracked the code to the art of simplicity. See, being simple is an art in itself. It's not about being lazy or cutting corners. It is about distilling your brilliance down to its purest form. Picasso didn't throw every color on the palette onto one canvas. He picked his battles, chose his hues, and created masterpieces that speak volumes without screaming. Ordinary, extraordinary. Now Marco, the maestro of the kitchen, reckons that if you can whip up the best fish and chips known to mankind, you're on the express train to fame. I mean, who wouldn't want to be famous for making people drool over a humble plate of fish and chips, like being knighted with a spatula? The essence of it all is simplicity. Start with the basics, the everyday, the run-of-the-mill, and then sprinkle some of that fairy dust on it. Okay, maybe not fairy dust, but you get my drift. It's about making the mundane and flipping it on its head, giving it a makeover that even the Kardashians would envy. Think about it. The world is full of people trying to outdo each other with grand gestures. But there's something charming about the person who can turn a plain loaf of bread into a work of art. Let me down in the comments how you deal with anxiety. Do you keep it simple? Or what are one of your favorite philosophies that you've learned and used in life?